Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Happy AI Day to everybody. One last time, it is tonight, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Real quick, a big thank you to my newest Patreon supporters, Bruce and Craig. I appreciate you guys very much. So, first things first, this CNBC article, climate change will disrupt the supply chains even more than COVID. I want to share this because it's a great reminder of why we really need Tesla and why I started following them so closely many years ago. But the onset of the pandemic has caused unprecedented worldwide supply chain disruptions, and experts say that's a drop in the bucket compared with the disruptions that climate change will cause.
Wildfires in the American West, flooding in Europe, and drought in South America are all disrupting supplies of everything from lumber to chocolate, even to sushi rice.
Whether you're in the agricultural sector or the forestry sector or in the tech sector, there is really no particular sector that is immune from climate change.
Witness how the increase in named storms over just the past 3 years has extended the areas of disruption dramatically. While this hurricane season is just getting started, there are already climate-related disruptions. For example, lumber. Canada-based Canfor Corporation just announced that the western wildfires are significantly impacting the supply chain and our ability to transport product to market. As a result, we are implementing short-term production curtailments at our Canadian sawmills. Prolonged drought in Brazil has caused the price of coffee to nearly double in the last year. And sushi rice, 2/3 of America's, is grown in California, which is now having water issues due both to drought and the wildfires. Workplace disruptions caused by climate change could lead to more than $2 trillion in productivity losses by 2030, according to a recent report from the United Nations Development Program. That, experts say, is why businesses need to be proactive.
And so that means being really innovative and creative and doing a lot of supplier engagement that maybe you haven't done before as a company.
And sure, I'm no expert, but I think it would be wise for all of us to keep this in mind, to remain nimble as investors, to remain informed, and of course, to continue to support Tesla. So hopefully we can reduce some of these problems over the next decade. And so yes, the Tesla Model S Plaid has finally met its match on the drag strip. And of course, it's the Rimac Nevera. Yes, it is over a $2 million car, but yes, it is also a production car. They are aiming to produce about 100 to 150 cars per year. Before I show you the footage though, here are some of the specs and features of this Rimac. So they're claiming 340 miles on the WLTP cycle, so the real world and EPA would be less than that. And the car is also claiming to be able to complete 2 consecutive laps on the Nürburgring with negligible drops in performance. The car is also technologically capable, whatever that might mean, of level 4 autonomous driving with full ADAS. And if connected to a fast charger, it can be recharged to 80% in less than 30 minutes. And it does also have the butterfly doors. And yes, the full video will be linked below. They did run 3 races total. I'm just going to show you a quick clip from the second race. And I want to get your opinion. Do you think that the Roadster is going to aim to take down the Rimac Nevera? Because right now this is basically the fastest production car in the world. So that halo effect, actually that top spot is arguably right now held by them, and we all know that Elon is competitive and he'll probably be aiming to dethrone that car. Although like I said, it is also an electric vehicle and it's over $2 million. It has 4 motors. So will the Roadster be able to compete? Let me know what you think, especially after you see the times.
I think I did better on the light that time.
This is bad news.
I didn't red light.
No.
What?
Your guys' reaction times are the same. You lost by 1,000th of a second. But that was so good.
You beat me by 1,000.
I know.
.09s.
090, he did .091. That was almost identical takeoff.
I really don't like you, Jimmy.
That was impressive.
I thought I had you because I was ahead the whole time.
Never had you.
I'm glad that you woke up for that one.
Listen, that's actually the perfect race.
That is the perfect
That's an
race.
identical reaction time. Jimmy actually got me by 1/1000th
Yes.
off the line. And
But
I went,
honestly, I really thought that you got me off the line. Like,
well, yeah.
It's so minuscule. Like when you see it from my perspective.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't get
So
any-
how far ahead was I? I got to watch the video back.
That 4 on that.
That was a good one?
That was
4 cars, that's
four
it?
Cars, yeah.
Jeez, it should be more.
It's only, you gotta
You said it was only 4 cars against a Taycan and it was 20 last race. Then I got you on
the
video saying that.
So as you saw there, the Rimac Nevera did an 8.64 quarter mile and the Plaid Model S did 9.3. So we have about 0.7 seconds in the quarter mile, which is a lot of time that the Roadster would have to make up on the Nevera if of course the Nevera doesn't improve between now and then. And as mentioned, please let me know, 1, if you think Elon will try to go after the Nevera numbers in the quarter mile, and 2, if they do, will the Roadster be able to get into that 8.6 second range for the quarter mile? I'd love to hear your opinions below. And please, before any of you get upset, I know that this really isn't Tesla's match because Rivac isn't a direct competitor to Tesla, and this is like comparing apples to oranges. Look, I get all of that, absolutely. Yes, the Rimac is about 20 times more expensive than the Plaid Model S, and it's going to be 10 times more expensive than even the Roadster. But that's part of what makes Tesla Tesla, is they aim to be the best of the best, and they aim to do it in a way that is cost effective. And I really think Elon is thinking, on one hand, that's great for the Nevera, it's an EV car, laying the smackdown to the ICE industry, but on the other hand, he has to be thinking, I want to be the one laying the smackdown, I being him and the Tesla team, of course. So who knows? Let me know what you guys think. So this was trending on Reddit today. The news actually came out about 2 months ago. It's not even really news, but basically a McDonald's put up a sign saying that, hey, they're gonna deliver food to the supercharger that was close by. And I'm showing you this because I always wonder to myself, why aren't more fast food stores and department stores racing to get EV chargers? I think it's pretty clear EVs are the future. Most of these stores will be able to carry the losses, make the investment, and it's not like the charging or supercharging is going to become profitable for these chains, but to offer that to the future of EV owners, where people will say, oh, Tesla, they'll definitely have superchargers, let's go to McDonald's when we stop or when we eat. I think long-term chargers at places like this will be ubiquitous, but that's a long ways away. And until we get here, the stores that do have chargers, I think are going to have a very big competitive advantage. Yes, we're only talking, between 1% and 3% of EVs on the road, but that number should grow very quickly, and there's enough now to probably argue that it's worth doing now. A quick note on Tesla in Japan. It looks like they're looking to make their entry into Japan's power market with their battery energy storage systems. This first one, yes, it's a very small deal, but Tesla's going to start delivering batteries for an energy storage project in Japan's island of Hokkaido. The 6 megawatt hour system will meet the needs of about 500 households, should be in operation by 2022, and will be overseen by Global Engineering Company. The last line of the article was interesting. It says Tesla plans to sell its power units at about 1/5 of local market prices. I couldn't really find any more about that. I'm assuming that maybe just the rest of the Megapack competitors or equivalents in that market are more expensive than Tesla, but if any of you happen to have any insight, please let me know. And this entire project is only expected to cost about $2.7 million, but once again, as this market tries out this technology, if it goes well, there will probably be more to come. And Holmars had a great tweet from yesterday. Basically, Waymo said they were going to build 80,000 cars. Reality right now today, their fleet is about 700 vehicles. Why? Turns out production is much harder than prototypes. No surprise there if you follow Elon for any amount of time. But the problem is building a Waymo vehicle requires disassembling and then reassembling the vehicle. So to install their systems, they basically break down the car that they buy from either Jaguar or whatever other automaker and then reassemble it with the Waymo driver, technology. As you can see, Waymo planned to buy the cars and install what it called its driver, a suite of cameras, sensors, and proprietary computer gear. In reality, it's the skilled disassembly part that's required. Engineers must take apart the cars and put them back together by hand. One misplaced wire can leave engineers puzzled for days over where the problem is. According to someone familiar with the matter, this painstaking nature of this process has left Waymo without a viable path to mass production. Waymo has slashed parts orders on the Chrysler minivan project and has had far fewer Jags delivered than initially expected. So look, obviously I'm not rooting against Waymo as I think some Tesla fans would, and to those of you, I understand your impulse, but at the same time, I share things like this just as a reminder for people who might not know, like Tesla is on the right path. What they're doing is ridiculously hard and they still don't get enough credit for what they're doing. Continuing on that theme, Toyota is cutting global production by 40% in September on more outbreaks from the pandemic. They said the chip shortage is also a problem, but the big impact is from the virus in Vietnam and Malaysia. Production in North America, China, Europe, and other regions will also be scaled back by a total of 220,000 vehicles. And globally, they were aiming for 900,000 automobiles for the month, but they bumped it down to 500,000 for September. And before Tesla AI Day tonight, I had to put this clip here of our very dear friend, really just as a placeholder for myself to come back to years into the future, but enjoy it or don't. Either way, please like the video if you did. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy tonight. A big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.
After I read your first sentence, Gordon, I just got to start with this, and then I'm going to go hide. But this is how you start. This is unbelievable. And get ready for some emails. I'm going to give out your address. The last 5 Tesla days were littered with false promises that never came true, and in many cases, outright lies and deception. And then you go over the history. Can you talk about your premise there and some of the recent days that back up what is pretty incendiary, what I just said?
Yeah, so thanks for having me on. So my question is, why should we believe anything that's going to be said at AI Day 2 when all the prior days were defined by complete fabrications or something close? So let me get into the specifics. Battery Day. So at Battery Day, they introduced the 4680 cell structure. By the way, no battery introduced. They said they were going to have a 500-mile Model S Plaid this year, which we now know that right before it was launched, they canceled. And they talked a lot about the Semi, the Tesla Semi that was introduced in 2017, and the Cybertruck, which they've recently delayed. So a lot of promises made, nothing kept. Let's go to Autonomy Day number 1, where Elon Musk said they were going to be at level 5 autonomy in 2020 and have 1 million robo-taxis on the road in 2020. We now know that there's not one robo-taxi on the road. And we also know via a Freedom of Information Act request, at the same time he was saying that to his investors, his lawyers were telling the California DMV they're only at level 2. So another promise made, not kept. Let's go to Neuralink Day, where they put a chip in a pig's brain and gave a lot of sick people hope that they were going to be fixed, right? MIT reviewed that and basically referred to that as, quote, theater. And then the best of all, Solar Roof Day, where they had a fake solar panel on the set of Desperate Housewives, a fake house, which they used to sell the Solar City acquisition to Tesla shareholders. In fact, it's so fake, there's an ongoing lawsuit that alleges fraud was used. So in all prior days, we see that effectively there's promises made that they either, in our view, know that they can't meet or never meet. And we think, given that history, Autonomy Day number 2 will probably be something similar.